Hi, this is LauraJthe.Treetalker. Today I spoke to silver birch. It wanted to talk about precognition. Cool, I said. What would you like to tell me about that? Do you have it? Yes, it replied. What do you do with it? Was my next question. Prepare for weather changes mostly, it replied, projecting a bit of humor. It can be comforting to know what's going to happen, even if the outcome could be disastrous. How so? I said. If you know that you'll quit existing physically, you can prepare yourself for it, be accepting. Knowing something could happen alerts the indwelling spirit that it can go elsewhere as soon as the event occurs and not cling to the mortal form. Sounds like a good way to relate to life. Is it something we as humans could do, I wondered? Theoretically, yes, it responded, but for some reason humans fear passing from one form to another. They doubt that it will happen successfully or believe that there is some arbitrary mechanism of justice that selects individuals to suffer. Pay for your sins, as you like to call it. Is that not the case? I inquired. It's not my personal experience. Energy is energy and will go from form to form. I should say life force, really, as energy that manifests as what you call life is a particular form of energy inherent to plants and animals and all the smaller things like bacteria, fungi, and algae. I include them, although it might not occur to you to do so, because our plant and animal kingdoms, consciously or not, literally depend on all the microscopic things around us and inside us for our very existence. And if you consider energy to only be something that moves, you'd be wrong. A rock lying on the ground has atoms in it, as does air or water. They're just differently constructed. Sounds like the premise for a science fiction novel, I laughed. I believe there are many that have been written with those ideas in mind, it observed. Probably, I responded, but we were talking about precognition. Do you actually know what's going to happen all the time? Yes, trees do have an awareness of a dimension that doesn't include linear time, within which you can see the directions our existence take from moment to moment and how they're all likely to intersect. But because any sudden or arbitrary change on the part of one entity can affect outcomes of all the others, it's a picture which is constantly subtly moving. As a physical entity myself that exists within the dimension of time, I find it takes an awful lot of concentration to make predictions that are accurate. So the farther away the result you're trying to predict about is, the less likely it is to be correct, I suggested. That's about right, it said. Like if you wanted to know if you're going to move to Seattle in 6 months or a year, I'd say without knowing many things about you, probably not, but couldn't be sure. What I'd probably tell you is that if you're even thinking the thought, you're putting something into the mix of possibilities that weren't there before. However, big caveat here, sometimes there is a flash of knowing. It has a shimmering quality, because it is not yet within the dimension of time. That is sometimes available to us as it is to most animals and all of those little things, bacteria, fungi, and algae. It is to humans too, it added, but most of you have trained yourselves not to pay any attention when that little shimmering flash appears in your mind. True, I commented, most of us will just say, man, I knew that was going to happen. Yes, it remarked, and the thing is, many of you could start with that occasional flash of knowing and train yourselves to be psychic, as you'd like to call it. Might take time and practice to get it right, but you're very capable. Well, that's encouraging, I commented. Maybe somebody out there will hear what you say and give it a try. Maybe they will, it said. I predict yes. And that was my conversation with Silver Birch. I hope you enjoyed what it had to say. If you like hearing what the trees have to tell us, give me a like and hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.